Hello everyone, welcome back to my Chanel. Today we're going on an adventure through time and space. No, not quite the space, but mostly time, because oh my god, I have no idea how anyone survived up until now in human history when everything was out to get you. Like, how on earth did anyone survive? Also, if you're interested in my hair grips, they say anxiety queen. So in the last one of these videos, you guys asked me to do a little excerpt on the Radium Girls. As far as I know a little bit about it, and it's actually a harrowing story of like capitalism preying on the weak and the poor that need jobs, but a lot of it is also like, why are you doing bottomless shots of radium? Thank you so much for suggesting that in this last video, because come and get triggered with me as we realize that girls in history were treated absolutely horrifically. First of all, I think we should start with exactly what radium is. Now, radium, if I type into the Google machine, I'm quite familiar with radium, but you know, I could always be more familiar with it, I suppose. Not in that way though, because it will end up killing me. It's highly toxic. Radium, into the Google machine. Here we go, girls. So, radium is a chemical element with the symbol Ra and the atomic number 88. It is the sixth element in group 2 of the periodic table. Pure radium is a silvery white, but it readily reacts with nitrogen on exposure to air, forming a black surface of radium nitride. Doesn't that sound evil? Also, punk name called it radium nitride, girls. One of the biggest things to note about radium is it is radioactive. Don't get it near you. You're not going to be very well. Absolutely not. So radium was actually discovered by Marie Curie, and she thought,
amazing, I've created a tonic. We should just all drink it.
come on, girls.
Get your bottomless glasses of radium.
And that obviously was a massive mistake. But she is a 2-time Nobel Prize winner, so you know, we love Marie Curie in this house. It was discovered by her and her husband, Pierre Curie, on the 21st of December, 1898. So the name of radium actually dates to a year after it was found, and it's from the French word radium, which is, you know, radium, basically. I don't know why that's here, but there we go. And it's formed from the Latin radius, which means ray of light, or rays, those sorts of things. This was in recognition of radium's power of emitting energy in the form of rays. Sis, it glows. Radium glows. Radium paints were used to paint watches so that army people could see it in the dark. In the dark. So radium was formerly used in self-luminous paints for watches, nuclear panels, aircraft switches, clocks, and instrumental dials. Anything that you needed to literally see in the dark. And to be honest, judging from everything here, you can actually kind of see that radium did have quite a glow. I'm going to put a couple of pictures up so you can actually see just how glowy it is. It actually does its job well, and that's why it was used. That's why it was incorporated into so many people's lives, readily available, because it actually did what it needed to do. And a lot of what these products that we see in history, these beauty products or beauty regimes or things that generally kill us because they come into contact with us, actually did their job pretty well. The only side effect was, you know, it kind of caused a bit of death. In the mid-1920s, a lawsuit was filed against the United States Radium Corporation. Can you even believe that there was such a thing? The United States Radium Corporation. Oh my god. You might as well just call yourself the Death Corporation. So a lawsuit was filed against this corporation by 5 dying radium girls. Now, they died in the most absolutely horrific way, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to say everything in this video, but you can do some of your own research if you're really into that sort of a thing, but I'm going to go as far as I can without getting demonetized, girls. So these girls were dial painters. So they painted clocks, they painted dials, those sorts of things with this luminous base paint. The dial painters were instructed to lick their brushes to give them a point to apply the radium with. Thereby ingesting a huge amount of radium. All you've literally done is dipped it in, and then they would dip their brushes. Imagine doing this. Imagine doing this and then continuing to paint. And once you've dipped it, you've put it back on your tongue, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again. 9,000 times a day, shall we say? These poor women. Holy crap, this is absolutely horrendous. Their exposure to radium caused serious health effects, which include sores, anemia, and bone cancer. I actually remember reading something in my science degree. Now, in my science degree, I actually had a couple of like dodgy history of science, basically, lectures. And these girls, their bones were like losing density. So the way that radiation works, in a sort of really roundabout way, is it tears through and removes electrons of nearby atoms. So by and large, that means it's like shooting away bits of mass from your body if you get it near you. Basically, because they were putting it on their tongue, their jaws were dissolving and their necks were dissolving and all the muscular tissue and bone tissue in their faces were dissolving. There is reports of a doctor literally pushing his finger in one girl's mouth and pulling out a piece of jaw jaw because it was just crumbling to dust. I cannot believe I've even uttered that sentence. That's absolutely horrific. This stuff is made of nightmares, girls. So this is because the body treats radium as calcium and deposits it in the bones, where it radioactively degrades marrow and can mutate bone cells. Sis, disgusting. So during this whole lawsuit, it was determined that the company's scientists and management had taken considerable precautions to protect themselves from the effects of radiation, yet had not seen fit to protect their employees. Once again, we have the capitalist class being like, no sis, we're very wealthy. Don't you worry about us. Look at us, we're all protected. But you know what you should do? You should lick that radium. Absolutely disgusting, but they died. Honestly, I make little jokes, but literally this is not a laughing matter. This is literally what we see happening all over the world, is people in power abusing those beneath them. Literally horrendous. Additionally, for several years, the companies had attempted to cover up the effects and avoid liability by insisting that the Radium Girls were instead suffering from syphilis, basically insinuating that they were not only workers in their factories, but also women on the game. And not in the funny way that I say it, like they were actually slandering these women who were dying of this corporation's negligence, that they were in fact just, you know, oh, they're just prostitutes. Just the syphilis girls. They're not the radium girls, just the syphilis girls. Absolutely not. It's not us. Nothing to do with us, sis. No. Absolutely disgusting. This complete disregard for employee welfare had a significant impact on the formulation of occupational disease labor law. Once again, we see this situation in which where laws come in, granted this isn't necessarily related to the cosmetics industry, but radium was seen as a beautiful thing to put on your skin and make your skin glow because people didn't know any better. You'd think it would burn or something because it's causing sores. Why would you put it on your skin repeatedly and be like,
Oh my god, these sores, they really bring out my eyes.
oh my god though, girls, another thing to add to this story. So radium was actually still used in production up until the late 1960s, but the way that they actually did it after these girls had passed away, they were instructed with proper safety precautions and provided with protective gear. In particular, dial painters no longer licked paintbrushes to shape them. They used to have a special tool that created a point for them. That's all that was needed to protect these girls. There were no further injuries to dial painters after this. It highlighted that the harm to the Radium Girls could have easily been avoided by just this small safety precaution. Now, picture this. Paris, 1933. The roaring 30s are fully in development, girls, and we are going to a party. What do we put on our skin to make us look absolutely gorgeous and stunning? Spoiler alert, this time it's not actually arsenic. It's miracle cream that contains thorium and radium. Do you know what it's gonna do? It's gonna smooth out your wrinkles, girls. It's gonna improve the circulation, give you that flush that all the boys want to look at when you're on the stage almost collapsing due to the radium inhalation. So this miracle cream was literally anything but a miracle. In fact, actually it was a death cream. It's a miracle anyone survived ever putting this cream on their face. So because it was unknown mostly in this time, 1933, that radium is incredibly toxic to the human body if ingested, that people were putting it on their skin and being like, oh my god, I love the flush this is giving me. My skin looks so red and glowing. Literally because they're dying. Like, they're dying. They're dying, sis. You're dying? Why are you putting this on your face? Surely you must feel that you're dying? No? Essentially, it was believed that because this product glowed slightly, it had a form of energy. And as you were using this product, you would get the energy from the product and you become energized and very productful and very energy. I don't understand. But I guess maybe they didn't at the time either. I'm being pretty harsh, but I bet you there's some things we look back on our life now in 100 years and go,
Oh my god, did they not realise this was killing them? Those silly buggers playing silly games. Stop playing silly games. Stop playing silly buggers.
So apparently, according to CNN Style, the creams didn't work as advertised, but that didn't stop Radium Cosmetics from becoming super popular. Its full range of products is purported to unleash the benefits of radioactivity. So this whole product range apparently included lipstick, facial powder, ointments, soaps, suppositories, razor blades, energy drinks, and even condoms.
Time to make my penis glow.
You could even use it for like hair treatments. This here is a tiny little poster from, when is this from? 1924, saying our new radium permanent wave beauty. Literally using radium to permanently wave the hair. Do you wonder how that's working? It's literally working by radioactively treating your hair, sis. You're not gonna have any hair left. Oh my god. Radium was so popular in the consumer market that many products claimed to be radioactive even if they weren't. Imagine that now. Imagine.
Hello everybody, my name's Jemima Starship and I've produced our new Radium lip gloss. Oh, it's called
My radium pussy. That was a bit much, wasn't it? Never mind. Wouldn't put it past him, no. So while the cream didn't exactly cause like death to you if you used it, there was actually a product within this line that actually did cause death, and it was an energy drink. And the idea of having a radium energy drink just sounds absolutely ludicrous to me, but there we go. Shall we just talk a little bit about it, shall we? So it was called Radithor. Radithor, girls, Radithor. Energy up and die. It consisted of distilled water and tiny droplets of radium, boldly advertised as a cure for the living dead. Just maybe a cure for the living? Oh God, that's terrible. It promised to tackle various ailments from diabetes to sexual decline. Does this look like something you would want to drink? In fact, to me, it kind of looks like a poison jar, but radium mesothorium in triple distilled water. Get it right down my gullet, girls. Far from being a panacea, it killed the most famous advocate, American socialite and athlete Eben Byers, who became notorious for drinking up to 3 bottles of Radithor every day for years. He died from it in 1932, and the Wall Street Journal ran the headline of "The radium water worked fine until his jaw came off." And I think, do you know what? We're going to leave it there, sis. We're going to leave it there today. So, my lovelies, what do you think about these poor Radium girls and the very fact that there are corporations willing to exploit the employees of their company, saying, "It's fine, girl. It's absolutely fine for us. Don't you worry. We're just behind this glass with our protective equipment on, but it's absolutely fine for you to touch. Yeah, you go do it. Go do it. Yeah." I think it's absolutely disgusting, and we need to hold these companies accountable. I do not know if the United States Radium Corporation still exists, but I can tell you there are examples of this sort of thing still happening in the world today. So keep your peepers peeled, girls, and spread the word if you uncover anything unscrupulous in industry. This week's Instagram shout out goes to Alexis H. Campbell. Thank you so much for following me, my lovely. And if you do want a chance of being featured in my next video's Instagram shout out, make sure you follow me on the links below. It is XX Luxeria. And a massive hello and welcome to Despicable D, Muslidir, LL Guerra, and Faith is a Vampire. Thank you so much for supporting the channel through membership and also through the Patreon, my darlings. If you would like to become a member or a Patreon of this channel, please check the links in the description box below. And as always, a massive thank you to my top tier Patreons and channel members, Morrigan E. Wolf, Erin Conkle, and Magusta La Goose. It's been a rough day, girls. It's been a rough month. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough decade. It's been a rough century. For everyone involved in the beauty industry, it seems. See you in my next video, beautiful.